Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in Rain Simulator. It has been raining the past couple days in-game. Of course, that was mostly in the last episode where we weren't even at home. But that's fine. We didn't have to experience too much rain. Looks like our pumpkins are just about done growing over here, and holy moly, pumpkins galore. Wow. So, in the last episode, we went out and we hunted for, somewhat unsuccessfully, Jonas parts. And after the end of last episode, we had a temporal storm where I sat it out in the drifter pit over here. I did get a double-headed drifter, but we did not get any more Jonas parts. So, we are sadly still unable to make any Jonas devices, and I kind of get the feeling that we won't get the chance to in this season. But that's okay. We've had fun exploring and adventuring, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to fiddle with the Jonas devices in the future. This episode, we're going to start prepping for kind of finishing this world. I want to get some things in place that have been on my to-do list for a while, and I think that's primarily going to be a garden right here. I want to have a sort of terraced garden that kind of, well, turns us from a big wall into a gentle slope kind of leading up to here. And I also want to get to work cleaning up the trees that are around here, because we have kind of a big mess of trees. We have some big messes of holes like this, and I think it's high time that we just get rid of these holes. We're never going to go adventuring in them again, and even if we were staying in the world longer, I probably would never go down here again anyway. I'm going to start by doing a few chores here. I want to clean up our pumpkins and get our fruit trees harvested and get the fruit that we already have downstairs swapped out into our spoiling bins, and that way we can just sort of get this place ready to go. You all know what I'm going to say. Let's get to it. Let's try that meal thing again, shall we? And good morning. Ow, everyone. That hurt. It is still raining, so let's go and take our packed dirt, because our next task here is going to be filling in these holes and just doing some general landscaping. I would like to maybe get rid of that ladder, or at least put a trapdoor in so we can sort of just maybe have it be a little more hidden. And I want to take down a bunch of stuff, like this big old gravel thing here, fill in these holes, and probably start taking down the trees after that, but let's do the landscaping first. And let's just start by filling in these big old things down here. We've had all of our fun down here that we're going to have, so I think it is time for us to just fill this in and make sure we can't fall in. Ooh, ever again. Hello, sir. Yes, thank you. That'll do. Spookered me pretty good there, didn't he? Well, let's get all this done, and let's just make this place a safer place to live, with no more holes for drifters to crawl out from. We'll just have growling pits where we'll have a chorus of voices serenading us nightly from below the ground. It seems they are very mad at me for imprisoning them down in the depths forever. Oh well. Bye, guys. Oh. I already have a lot of peat. Okay, well then. I thought I was getting low, but I guess not. Same here, okay. Well, we are good on peat for, well, forever, really. Okay, folks, with this half of the landscape all nice and flattened out, I think I want to tend to some of that in here in our tree farm area. So I'm going to go ahead and just start doing that here a little bit. Get all this dirt in here and make this a bit more of a flatter lawn. And we will come through here afterward and take down the trees and replant them probably, at least to shift them a little bit, and to make them taller for the ones that are shorter due to being in these little dells here. But aside from that, I think this area is going to remain mostly the same. We're just going to make it a bit more level, a bit more like a tended lawn or tended renewable source of wood. Responsible forestry, that's us. Okay, good morning, folks. Oh, hey, our tree here finally grew its second height. So fruit trees, once you've had them long enough, will grow so that they have 2 blocks of trunk before their first leaves, which can help you in getting the sort of extra bits of fruit that can be hanging underneath its branches. Now, we are going to, once and for all, probably, yeah, I think we're going to take out some of these trees, not all of them. Like this nice big bushy one, this gets to stay, even though it is a bit lumpy right here. Same for this one, but these little guys, nah, they're going to go. And they'll get replaced with new trees that will hopefully grow up nice and big and strong. And I think most of these pine trees are okay. I might just leave most of them and just move the ones that are kind of near the edge if I need to. There we go. Now, I did replant most of these birches, and they're mostly in the place and in the right sizes. I might kind of bump this out just a little to hide that right there. That should be good. And I think what I'm going to do is these 3 grew a little shorter than I wanted. So let's take these guys out, and I'll replant them, and hopefully they'll grow up a little bit taller. At least one of them should be a bit taller. I mean, this one's kind of nice and tall, but it could be better. And maybe I'll give them a little bit more space too. Let's maybe plant one here. And then we'll do one, say, here. And then we'll do one here. And that should do. I don't mind the size of these small ones. I think they fit the area perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and leave them as if they were younger trees planted near the old house. Now, the exotic trees are all going to come down, sadly, so I guess let's see if we can make sure we have enough room for these guys. I'm going to just sort of drop this guy here. There we are. And, oh yes, I forgot to mention the sheep. The sheep keep ending up spawning inside the old house, so it's probably a good thing we don't live there anymore, because we would be contending with sheep every few days. But I think I will at least greet them. And probably leave most of our logs in here. We just don't need the stuff cluttering us up. Oh, get out of here. So let's get all these trees down and just out of the way. And as for these sad little walnut trees, I think I do want to keep some of these. But I think what I'll do is I'll kind of plant them a little bit closer together, maybe out here. Oh, here we go. I missed a spot. And there we go. Alright, that's a bit better. Could possibly fill in this bit of a dell here, but I'm not too worried about that. Let's put maybe like a walnut here, and then one here, and here. And then we'll knock down these 2 trees and replant them, because these grew in 1.18, so they're very stunted and really bad looking. So let's go ahead and just do that here. And I'll probably move this one in 1 block. just not on the edge of the dirt there. So that should do. And then these two will just come down entirely, and they'll be gone. We'll tuck our wood away in here again. Back away from the sheep. And let's bring down these trees here. They're a great source of wood when we needed it, but since we're not going to be living here anymore, they're kind of just a bit of an eyesore, honestly. Wow. I do love the occasional weird jerkiness of the character arms if you pick up too many items at once. Also, wow, frame rate. Let's talk frame rate issues with so many entities just lying on the ground here. There we go. There's the weird jerky arm motion. Ah, and like that, we have an unspoiled view of the mountains once again. I think I preferred this view from here because it kind of just sort of goes from built up to a plain and then the mountains themselves. I think I prefer this look to having the trees there. And then as we look down this way, we get a bit more forested, a bit more heavily cultured. I think it's more interesting this way. And then this walnut looks okay. That one's small but looks okay. Let's get rid of this walnut. Ooh, let's also get rid of this. We don't really need this anymore. And we can get rid of this thing here. It's Gonzo. Farewell walnut. And I think we'll leave this one down. This one is not too close to where we'll be building, so it can stay. And let's go and work on the backyard now, because a lot of those trees are going to come down. And it's a good thing I have a spare axe, because we are going to need it. Oh boy. Alright, so as far as the trees back here, I'm loath to... Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. That, my friends, is a purple heart tree. Yes, this is what we should have been seeing all along. Look at that. Look how massive that crown is. Wow. Anyway, sadly, this crown happens to be kind of close to where I've been planting my native trees. Well, you know what? You know what? I was going to keep some of the purple hearts down here, like this guy, and maybe even plant another one, like say right about here. But I could kind of leave this and leave these purple hearts alone and just take out these little stubbly ebony trees and maybe, yeah, just take out the ebony trees and we'll call it a day. And this one isn't stubby, but it comes down too. And these two also aren't particularly stubby, but they are kind of blocking my view of bear territory. So they come down. Oh hey, check it out. Our cypress trees grew. Yes, that gives just a bit of definition to the roof line here. I think that works out pretty well. Now, something I did notice is that while we're back here, there's a spot that's missing a pine tree or two. So I'm going to drop these off in here. Wow. And we're going to grab some pine seeds from the pine and other seed box for trees. And we're going to head back out here and just drop a pine tree kind of back here. I want this redwood tree to be kind of ringed in by the pine trees, as if it was maybe just like, you know, the daddy tree, the mommy tree. Do one back here too. That should do. And I guess I didn't need this axe after all. So let's go and get to work on this over here. This wall has been an eyesore for so long. And I want to turn this from a weird dirt wall into a kind of gentle slope. And I might kind of bring it up to about here, which means we'll have to bring our wall here down. And that way we also won't have this weird, like, crunchy little tiny alleyway going on here. So let's get started on that. I'm going to start by probably chopping this back a good bit before I even let it come up. Let's bring it back like 3 blocks at least. Okay, so I think we can have this start here or thereabouts. Maybe even drop that there. Get a piece of cheese pie. And then let's start chopping this back. I'm thinking like maybe 3 blocks, and then we'll go up a block. And then 3 blocks, we'll go up a block, and then so on until we hit the top. And it doesn't need to be perfect, because this is going to be kind of a gently cultivated kind of thing. So if it's a little bit lumpy, I think we're okay with that. I am definitely kind of just eyeballing it here, and kind of going until it feels right, really, more than anything. Okay, and I think that should about do it. Let's knock that back. Let's also remove this dirt wall here, and we'll replace this with some actual wall momentarily. There we are. Let's go and get our granite supplies and our pine logs, and let's just turn this into the rest of the wall that it always wanted to be. We just didn't know it yet. And we'll bring this down to, well, probably move it, honestly, because this is going to be kind of the middle of a garden, so I don't want it to be right in the middle of it. And go ahead and dig up these bushes here. You're going to come with me. You know what? We might just make a little cranberry patch out here. Let's just move you, because this spot right here is a little bit bare, since we have taken all the trees out and filled in all the holes. Just a little bit of a cranberry patch might help liven things up. There we go. And before the temperatures come out here in force, because it has been very high, medium, and high for the past several days in a row, let's go ahead and get all this in here before we get swarmed. And swarmed we will get if we don't hurry. There we go. Let's go ahead and we'll just grab this guy. And maybe we will move you to somewhere. I forgot your 3 pieces. And the lantern. What was I thinking? What was I thinking indeed? And you know what? You know what? Rather than replace it, I'm going to just hang the lantern off of here. Yeah. Of course, the light here is like extra red from the sunlight and the sunset, but I think that should help keep things at bay. I'm going to sleep, and we're going to get working on our little garden here, and also getting the front area of our house here done. We're going to run our stone path over to there, down to the barn, and get it filled in and lined with sandstone gravel. Alright, good morning, folks. It is the first calm day that I've had since the end of the last episode. Pretty crazy how that goes sometimes. Let's go ahead and we're going to dig out a little bit more of this here, just to give ourselves some room to work and to breathe here. That way when we're bringing our animals in, we're not like trying to stuff them down a little chute here. That's for later. And then we're going to just sort of dig this out here, and this will become a path over to here. And I do want them to line up and meet right here. There we go. Let's get our initial path blocks in. And then right here, we can do our step down like that. And then, let's see, we'll probably need to dig this back a little bit right here and there and there. And then we'll dig this out with the pickaxe, and we'll just run this right up to the door here. So there is that, and then we can come in here with the sandstone. We'll just dig out all of this, and by sandstone, I meant sandstone and gravel, and we'll fill all these in. And with all that work done so early in the morning, it's time to take a break for breakfast. The same thing I eat every day, Pinky. The same thing I eat every day. And then we can come over here and we're going to break out the rest of the sandstone rock and fill it in with some soil. And there we go. We now have a path down to our barn, just like the rest of the house does now. That's pretty cool. I think we should go ahead and start in on this little garden here. And I think before I do, I am going to... You know what? No. We'll just trim this back a little bit. I was going to take this down, but I kind of like having a bit of a bump here, just to kind of break up the otherwise very flat plane here. Here we go. Lupines. Plenty of blue and purple. Only a couple white lupines, but a good number of red and orange. Well, why don't we get started with what we have here, and let's see how far we get. And if we need more lupins, well, I'm sure we know where to find some. Before I forget, we should probably also come and grab some of our nice outdoor weathered fences. And we're going to use some of these to kind of fence in the back here a little bit. I think I want to have a fence that runs maybe from here or so. So let's see, we can do, I think we'll start our garden like here. So let's start the fence here. Not that it's keeping anything in or out. It's just sort of decorative. It's going to go up to about here, like so. And then up here, we'll have a similar thing. And here's where I trimmed this back a little bit. Let's do this from, say, here. Bring this over. And let's start bringing it down this way a little bit here. And we'll bring the fence to right there, I think. Yeah, there we go. So this is just a little sort of visual guide for us to use and to have something to say like, hey, don't come through here and tromp all over our flowers. We like them too much for that. Now, you know me. There is usually some function to my forms, and I think that function is going to be, we're going to plant some cattail root up here. And I wouldn't mind if we had some more of it, but I want to plant some along here so that we have like a bit of cattail that we can come and harvest now and then, because as much as the rooftop stuff helps, we are really low on cattails, honestly. I did not create rows and rows of them this season like I did in the first season. And the last thing I want to do before we get to the flowers is I think we should plant some more of these Mediterranean cypress seeds along here. And we'll do maybe every 3 blocks or so. And that way it'll kind of break up the view of these cattails here from the ground. So let's go ahead and we're going to do, let's start one here. We'll come over 1, 2, 3. So there are 2 blocks in between. Perfect. There we go. That should be pretty cool once they grow up. But I promised all of you flowers, so let's do flowers. I think what I want to do is I want to kind of do maybe 3, well, obviously 3 sections here. But I think what I'll do is, let's say we have blue lupins maybe along the top, and then purple in the middle, and then the reds and the oranges along the bottom. But we'll do a little bit of a mix. So it'll be like 92% blue and, I don't know, 4% purple and 4% split between red and yellow on the top. And then kind of the same for the purple, but swap the purple and the blue. And then on the bottom, we'll have the reds and the yellows, and we will have maybe 4% blue, 4% purple. I think that could be really neat, as if we were trying to cultivate like a little rainbowy kind of design here, but that with the hybridization and the spreading of seeds, they've kind of mixed a little bit. So let's start with the blues here. And I'm going to fill all these in first, and then we'll come back through and pick some nice big bushy ones to replace with the reds, yellows, and purples. That way we're not wasting those on really small and hard to spot flowers. So there are our blues. We have 17 left, which is probably just enough for what we need. Let's get the purples done here. And I think I need to figure out something to do to connect this area, or I could just leave it, you know. I don't think it's a bad thing, but maybe we could have like a bit of a path here, or, ooh, we could try those wooden paths. I have never made those before. We could put a small wooden path leading from here down straight through to here, as if this is like a bit of a shortcut. Yeah, we could do some of that. So let's start with the purples here. Let's get these in. And we are out of the purples, so we might need to either go out and get some, or let's try filling in with the oranges and the reds, and let's see if we can make this fit here. So, oh boy. So I want to mix the oranges and reds a little bit. So I'm going to be kind of a little sparsely pushing these reds around, although we have a much smaller area to deal with here. Let's do a bunch of reds first. And just get these kind of here. Oh, would you seriously? Give me some nice bushy ones, please. Thank you. There we go. Not you. Not you. Wow. There we go. Let's get rid of you. Okay, that should do to start. Let's then fill the rest in here with the oranges and see how this looks. Lots of small ones here, seems like. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it so much. But it looks a bit too uniform, doesn't it? So let's come in here and let's pick out some of these. And we can even sprinkle the white ones in here. Maybe we could put like one white one down here on the bottom. Let's replace, say, oh, this one with a white one. And then maybe one of these small ones with a white one. Let's do like this double right here. This is a really unfortunate spot. All of these, of course, are affected by the world seed, so there will always be little single flowers here, no matter what type we plant. And then we can do a couple up here. Let's pick a nice bushy one to replace here. And then like one right here in the middle. And then let's do a blue one over here on the end. And one, say, up here. You. There we are. So then we can come through and let's fill in maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these with blues. And I'll start filling these in with the purples that I collect. But let's then move on to some oranges. Maybe do a couple, like one here and then one in the back here. And then lastly, we'll do the reds. Maybe a red one back here in the back. And one here. And one over here. And then we have 5 purples left. Can we fill in back here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need like 3 more. We can maybe put a red one back in here, I think. Let's maybe just tuck a small one here. I could use something right here. Maybe an orange one. And maybe... oh, it's a toughie. And you're going to be a medium-sized one. Let's just do this. Let's put a small blue right there. And we'll tuck you there. Let's step back and take a look at it now. Yes. That is much more organic. Still definitely cultivated, but some of the seeds that spread from the blues and purples made their way down and vice versa. Or maybe the ones up top are hybridizing and we're getting these wonderful colors from them. I love it. I do love my lupins in this game. They are my favorite flower. Also, the only flower that's red. So, yeah. Tyron, we could use some more red flowers. Well, let's go inside and let's grab some wood planks. Let's grab our saw. And I have no idea how many planks we need. Let's see, to make our... here we go, wooden path. A saw and 2, okay, makes 1. That's not too bad. Probably more than enough. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. And maybe we could even... if we're feeling cheeky, I could even make, like, some kind of small stairs, or at least a slab. Let's see, let's grab maybe... this is pretty oaky in color, I think. Yeah, that's a kind of oak-looking color. So let's maybe grab some oak planks, and let's just make a couple slabs to bring with us. Okay, so we're going to line the edge of this with a bit of path. And let's say we start it like here. Bring it down to about here. Oh, these are directional, okay. So we'll do this. And let's then replace this guy with a slab like that. And same thing over here. And now we have a little path. Fun fact, you actually get a speed bonus on these wooden paths as well. It's half the bonus or so of these, and I'm realizing I forgot to do this. But yes, where you get about a 30% boost on the gravel paths, you get a 15 or so boost on the wooden paths. Alright, paths in place. And now I think the next thing is going to be probably just a little bit of lighting. We have one out here. I think we could use a couple lights along the fence here. I'll probably just tuck them onto the fence. And probably have one out here, like on here. And that should probably do. Let's see how much bismuth bronze we have. We have 1 ingot. Well, that's fun. I do, however, have a whole bunch of copper plates. And I made these a long time ago because I had great plans for using a partial copper roof on our little house over here, the fishing hut. I started making these in survival, and then I went and was planning it out in creative, and I hated it. They looked awful. But you know what they do look great as? Lanterns. So let's make some. Now, before we commit to copper lanterns, I want to make sure they look okay, because we have been using the bismuth bronze over there, and I want to make sure that they don't like clash badly with what we have going on out here. So let's drop one here. And nope, I think we have to do bismuth bronze. So I guess we're going to do one more round of alloying for the season, and then we'll put some bismuth bronze lanterns out there. Okay, everyone, with all that metallurgy out of the way, let's get up here and let's drop some lanterns to brighten this place up a bit. I think one there. I don't think we need one here on this corner because we have this lamppost here. Yeah, although you know what we could do? We could put one here. Square on. We could move this lamppost maybe out to, say, here. I think I'll do that after I put a couple more lanterns down here. Let's put one here. And let's do one kind of at the halfway point. So about here. And then let's just move you out to there. And there we go. I think it works. That should keep rifts from spawning basically anywhere out on this side near our base. Maybe some more apples here I could pick if I wanted to. But I think that's a pretty good lighting setup. I think we are pretty safe from rifts and drifters. And boy, I finished that right before the wind stopped, didn't I? Holy cow. I was helping the Hellhammer the whole time. Wow, I think that might be actually everything I wanted to do. I'm a little surprised myself. I was kind of expecting to be wanting to do more here, but I think this is actually really nice. I think if I had maybe one thing left to do, it might be to just spruce up this area down here, and maybe in here and over there, with just a little bit of variety. Maybe some other non-lupin flowers. Now, I think some lupins make sense, as they would have had seeds that came and found their way down to the ground below. But maybe some of this, and maybe, I don't know, a little bit of woad, and maybe something like heather. I don't want super bright, like orange colors to take away from this going on here. So we're just going to scatter maybe like a, maybe not you, but like you, and maybe like you, and maybe one over here at the corner of the house. And then let's do one there and one there. Then we can scatter some red top grass that isn't really like flower-like. I mean, it is a flower, but it's not super brilliant. It isn't very obtrusive. And I think it just helps kind of add a bit of texture and a bit of different color to a place when added sparsely. There we go. Maybe one more in here, a couple. There we go. And then I'm going to add a little bit of woad right down here. Mostly in the corners to hide a bit of the brown dirt there. And then maybe, say, one here and one over here. And then something over here. And then we'll fill in a bit of heather down in front. Like here, there, and there. Something there. And there. Yeah. That's what we should do. And then just to make sure this path doesn't get lost, let's clean up this grass here on the sides of it. That way we don't have any of the grass textures trying to encroach on the path like here. And I think one more path block there is kind of in order. And let's put you right there, I think. There we go. We now have our little path down. I think that works out really well. I am liking this. I like having the fruit trees here. A little bit of extra fruit, why not? But here's a little garden. And I will be eagerly waiting to see these trees sprout. It looks like they didn't quite make it today. We've got 6 days, and I think that is just enough time for us to wrap things up, watch them grow, and round out the season of the Vintage Story Guide. But, as you can probably guess by my tone of voice, it is about that time being for the episode to come to an end. And hey look, a butterfly checking out our flowers over there. See him right there? Very cute. Anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this little adventure in doing some final landscaping, smoothing out the terrain, getting our trees where we want them, and just cleaning up our little home area here. And then planting this vibrant garden. I love this thing. I have to say, I love this thing. I may have to do this kind of thing in a future series where I have time to actually look at it and enjoy it for a longer period of time, but man, this came out really fun. In the next episode, which will be the last episode of the series, we'll be doing a bit of a world tour, and then one final build that I think you'll all really enjoy. So, I hope you're looking forward to that, and for what comes next. I will be doing another Vintage Story series. However, it will not be a guide series. It's going to be a much more laid-back building and survival-focused series with more mods. So, I hope you're looking forward to that too. If you enjoy what I do here, let me know by leaving a like or a comment in the section below. And I would love to have you subscribe if that's your thing. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.